Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my update on my Project 10 uses. So that is a series I do here on my channel where I solely focus in on my single eyeshadows. It's definitely one of the more neglected categories in my collection. So I randomize 5 different shades and try to use them 10 times. I'm going to update you on my progress, my color story, some roll outs, some roll ins, all that good stuff. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around, but with all that, let's just get into it. All right, so we have a few changes coming. I don't want to allude to too much, but I am going to switch this up just a little bit, at least for the next month, but we'll get into that. Normally for this project, I pull in 5 shadows, so 2 matte singles, 2 shimmer singles, and then a eyeshadow that's in like a single component, kind of like the Charlotte Eyes to Mesmerize, or something that's like in a pot, not necessarily in a Z palette or a magnetic single. I hope that makes sense. I randomize those in my Tiny Decisions app, try to use them 10 times. We roll them out, roll new ones in. It's just a way for me to make sure that I'm not neglecting this category. I'm actually using them, because if not, I will neglect them. It's just the way that it is. I have other stuff that I focus in on. It's not that I don't want to use these. They just don't get used. So let's go over my color story for the past month now. We do have some roll outs, and here is what my little Z palette looked like. You'll notice there's 5 shades in here because last month I rolled in an extra shade. Here is my single component. Let's talk about the single component first. This is the Artist Couture Diamond Light Finisher in Nebula. I've only had this in for 1 month. It's very pretty, but it is, I think, my only loose eyeshadow in my collection at this time. I have no other ones. I did roll in another one of these, Epiphany, last year, and I actually decluttered it. This is very tough to get out. I am wearing this today. Everything that I'm wearing is going to be listed in the description box below. I'm going to have to really bang on this to get a swatch, so. Okay, got a swatch out. It's a very like translucent pink with a kind of blue shift. Like I said, I'm wearing it today. It's been in the project 1 month and I have 4 uses on it. So this needs 6 more uses before I roll it out. And I've been enjoying this one a lot. I've kind of been focusing in a little bit. My progress is usually better, but I do also a No Pan Left Behind project where I'm trying to touch every single eyeshadow in every single one of my palettes. And that's kind of been my hyper fixation right now. So while I'm happy with the progress that I have on some of these, it's definitely not as good as some other months. But let's start with the mattes in my little Z palette. This is MAC Kid, and it's just a nice neutral. This has only been in the project for 1 month. Also wearing this one today. And I have 5 uses on this. So 5 uses left to go. This will be staying in. The next one I have is from Burberry, and this is the shade Tea Rose. I talked about this when I rolled it in, but I got this in like a friend worked at the Burberry counter, used to work at the Burberry counter, and she had like display eyeshadows that were brand new unopened and gifted me 2 of them. I tried to depot it because it wouldn't fit in my Z palette, and in the process I broke it. So that's why there's a big old pan in there. I did not naturally get that, but here's what this shade looks like. Surprisingly, it is lighter than MAC Kid. Really like this shade though. I used it 4 times this past month, so I still have 6 uses on it. I do think it'll be a rollout for next month. And then we get into my shimmers. I first want to talk about, let's talk about this one first, I guess. This is Clionadh Glow. This has also only been in the project for 1 month, and it only has 1 use on it. I was having a little bit of trouble reaching for this because it is quite impactful, and I think a lot of the shades I rolled in this past month were a little bit lighter and So I don't know, I felt like this just kind of stuck out too much. And typically I kind of combined this project all together. I wouldn't really go into other palettes and then use this on top. I know that's something I probably should do, but I haven't. Really pretty though, hoping I can kind of focus in on this. It's an iridescent with a purple to blue shift. Probably would go really well on top of Nebula, or like with Nebula, maybe like this kind of on the outer half and like this more in the inner corner because it's lighter. I don't know, could play around with that, just need to kind of focus in on it. And then the last two shimmers that I have are MAC Mulch. This has been in the project for 2 months, and I used this 3 times. I already had 7 uses on it, so I did reach my 10 use goal. I'm also wearing this one today. Really enjoy this. It's kind of like a satin, and I didn't realize how much I would like this shade, but it is very pretty. It will be rolling out though. And then the other one that I have is Gimme Glow Coconut Slushie. Also wearing this one today, and this has also been in the project for 2 months. I used it twice this month because I already had 8 uses on it, which means that this will also be rolling out. It doesn't look this pigmented on the lids. I really do kind of like sheer it out. Like I said, I'm wearing it today. So in today's look, I'm wearing Kid kind of in the transition, Mulch on the outer corner, Coconut Slushie all over the lid with a little bit of Artist Couture Nebula tapped on top. That's my eye look, but again, it's listed down below. So these two will be rolling out. Like I said, I normally work on 5 shades, but I did roll in a 6th only because I had like some room in this palette, and I kind of wanted to. Those didn't have that many uses left. Like I only needed 2 and 3 uses on it. So that's why I rolled this in. And I'm kind of feeling like I want to expand my palette. So that's the change that's going to come today. I'm going to go from this Gimme Glow palette, which normally is supposed to fit, oh shit, I almost dropped this. It's supposed to fit 4 of the old Gimme Glow shades. They recently, well, they're redoing their website again, but they did go down from these like ginormous pans to smaller, actually like decently sized pans. So this is just an old quad that I had that's supposed to fit 4 shades. But I want to expand it into this palette here. So I think I'm just going to fill this up and see where that gets us. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling like doing. So that's what I'm going to do. I've also mentioned this in a couple other videos, but I am going to Spain in the next couple of days. I'm filming this update a little bit early, and I'm going to volunteer at a dog rescue. I did that quite a lot last year. If you follow and are subscribed to my channel, it's one of my passions. I love doing it, but I don't wear that much makeup. I'm actually going to bring no eyeshadow palettes, and I am going to bring my Z palette. So I'm only going to focus on these single shadows, and that's why I figured like this is not that much bigger than my old Z palette, and I could fit some more shades in here and maybe just give some love to my single shadows while I'm only having one palette. So that is what I'm going to do. The problem is I don't know how many shades can fit in here, and it's also going to depend on like what size the pan is, right? Because this is small, this is rectangle, this is still a rectangle, but kind of a square. Then I have the Gimme Glow ones that are quite bigger. So I don't know how I'm going to roll these in, but my goal is still going to be 10 uses. And then once I come back from Spain, do my next update, I will reevaluate if I want to go back down to 5 shades or not. I am not going to pull in any other single components as much as I want to. I'm trying to pack the least amount of makeup possible that I'm still going to use and get some use out of my collection. And it doesn't make sense to me to bring in like 5 different components. So what I'm thinking right now, I have 2 mattes, 1 shimmer. I think I'm going to pull 4 mattes, which would give me 3 mattes, which would give me 5, and then 4 shimmers, which would give me 5. And then if I have any room after that in this palette, I will just hand select some shades. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So let me pull up my Tiny Decisions app. I'm just gonna screen record it and pop it in the corner. I'll scoot over just a little bit for that. Let's start with matte shadows since, did they update this? They must have. I'm gonna pull 3. So let's see. Sydney Grace Bravo. I'm kind of hoping I get smaller pans. Sydney Grace Relax. I have the most Sydney Grace and Gimme Glow shadows. Sydney Grace Grounds. I've already used that shade. I'm gonna pull a different one because I've already used Grounds and maybe I didn't have it on no repeats before. Sydney Grace Mom's Ride. Okay, so that's 3. Let me now go to my shimmer shadows and we'll pull 4. Gimme Glow Pink Lemonade. Okay, so that's a bigger pan. Colored Raine Secrets. Sydney Grace Amethyst. One more. Sydney Grace Fallen Empire. Okay, so let me go find those. I do think I'll have some extra room in my palette to fit some more, so then I will just hand select some shades and show you what I come up with. I have all my shadows picked out and I was able to fit in quite a bit. I know it kind of bothers me how these 2 spots are empty, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll be okay. Let's go over the swatches for these. I've only swatched out the mattes so far, so let's start with those. Starting off with the rollovers. So we have Burberry Tea Rose, the very, very top there, which is a little bit hard to see. It's quite light. Then our second rollover, which is MAC Kid, even harder to see. I really tried to build that up so you could see the swatch. And then we have the first one that was pulled, which is Sydney Grace Bravo, that kind of khaki army green, which this comes out of the Sydney Grace In Mel's Memory bundle. And then the second one also came out of there, which was Relax. So that is this one here. Really enjoy the matte Colorstory. And then the third one that I pulled was Mom's Ride. Kind of a unique shade, at least for me, because it's not brown, but it's not orange. It's like a very, very brown tone orange. Like that a lot. And then I pulled 2 extra matte shades that I thought would fit well with the Colorstory. The first one being San Diego, which is this one here. Kind of just wanted some neutrals. I mean, I wanted ones that I was actually going to use. And then the last one being Embrace, which is more of a pinky tone. So I picked more of a warm tone and then more of a pinky tone. So that puts us at 5, 6, 7 matte shadows total. And let me swatch the shimmers. Here are all the shimmers. I did pull a little bit more shimmers. The first one being Clionadh Glow. So this is my rollover from this last month here, that very top one. The second one being Give Me Glow Pink Lemonade. So that's this swatch here. Very pretty. Then the third one is Colored Raine Secrets. Kind of like a satin here. Definitely the darkest one. Might have some trouble reaching for this one in the next month. The fourth one is Sydney Grace Amethyst. Bright without being super bright, because Sydney Grace, I don't know, their shimmers are definitely different from like other typical indie shimmers. And then the fifth one that I rolled in was Sydney Grace Fallen Empire. This really kind of dark purpley taupe. I think it'll actually go really good with Amethyst. So those were the 5 that I rolled in. And then the 4 extras that I picked, so I'll have 9 shimmers total. I wanted to pull another Clionadh. So this is Adornment, which is this swatch right here above that pink. I wanted not an iridescent, but still a light, bright shade. Very pretty. I wanted to pull some that maybe don't get rolled in as much. So this is a Micka Beauty Shop in Blush. And I thought it would go really well with that pink lemonade shade. Because I have so many Sydney Grace and Gimme Glows, like the ones that I have off brands of, like I have a few from Micka Beauty Shop, I have a few from Terra Moons, like those don't ever really get pulled. So that's why I wanted to grab for some of those. The next one that I pulled is from Glam Shop, and it's Always Cool. So that's the one under the pink here. Again, like some singles that don't really, for some reason, get rolled into this project. And then the last one, I wanted just kind of like a plain champagne that I could kind of throw in the inner corner, and that is going to be Sydney Grace Morning Star, which is that one right there. So 9 shimmers, 7 mattes, 16 shades, and this is what the palette's looking like. I might try to rearrange it a little bit, but I wanted to put the ones that were rolled in at the top and at the bottom just so I didn't lose track of them. What I'm thinking is I'm going to try my best for this next month, see what I use while I'm in Spain, because we'll see what I can do, but this is going to be the only eyeshadow palette that I bring, so hopefully I can make some good progress. But I'm thinking for the next update, I won't be able to roll anything in unless I hit my 10 uses on the ones that were actually pulled from the Tiny Decisions app. The one that I just like randomly pulled in and chose on my own, I still want to hit 10 uses on those, but I might not roll anything in those places because I definitely don't want this many shades all the time. I do kind of want to keep this a little bit more focused, or I'll just never roll anything out. I'll lose steam and it'll be a project that's just not beneficial to me. I do want to keep this project a little bit more curated, but since this month's an exception and I want to make it work for me the best that I can. So yeah, what we'll do is the ones, I need to hit 10 uses on all of these. I want to make sure that all of my singles get 10 uses on them. So once I hit those, I can roll them out. It might take me a couple of months, which is fine, but I won't roll in new shades until they're the ones that were randomly chosen from the Tiny Decisions app. So that is my update for Project 10 Uses. Let me know down below if this change is okay with you, if you think it's gonna like completely throw it off. I'm gonna try it, we're gonna see, but I don't know, that seemed like the best compromise for me because I'm not gonna be able to work on any of my eyeshadow palettes. It didn't make sense for me to pull in just and take 10 palettes with me in my suitcase. I really didn't wanna do that and work on those. So I'm not going to, I'm gonna bring the one. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm a little bit iffy on it. I'm feeling fairly confident about my decision, but I'm a little bit iffy on how much usage I'll actually like realistically get out of this. Luckily, it's not too big. Anyways, this is my update for Project 10 Uses. This is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.